How are you feeling as a Spurs fan about those L's?
I mean, they're not. It's not good. I mean, some of those L's were against Chelsea and Arsenal, particularly painful. But it's not. It's not good. I think, like Iman the other night said, it's suboptimal, isn't it? It's not what we want. But I do still feel like it is what we were all told would happen at some point, right? And I think so. I sometimes I think we make, not us, but collectively, and those watching football, all football fans, not just Spurs fans, we look for stories, right? We look for reasons, we look for narratives, we look for things to make things make sense. It's possible that we could lose those 4 games spread out over the season with similar performances, similar attitude, or similar struggles, but because they weren't bunched together, they're not seen in the same way. And I understand trends, but I do think that Ange has a point here. It's like trends don't kick in after 2 games. Trends don't kick in after 4 games. Trends are something that you have to work long and hard to change, that are endemic within a culture of a club. I don't think the struggles we've had over 4 matches are showing signs of endemic problems within our club. I think what they're showing is that we came up against 3 of those teams, well, actually 4 of them, but certainly Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool like to have the ball, right? We like to have the ball, and on our day, we could have won those games on our day. Whereas I worry more. I think I was catching the end of what Zeus was saying. I'm more concerned about how we navigate those teams that give us the ball, you know. And concern, I don't mean like I'm worried that we're not going to figure it out, but that's where we will make the difference, right? Because I think when we're fully functioning, when we've got the players that Ange wants, when what we're doing and trying to do is embedded within the fabric of our team, I think that, you know, we'll get to a point where play Liverpool at the level that they're at 10 times, we'll win 5, they'll win 5, or we'll win 4, they'll win 4, and we'll draw a couple. Because it's that those sort of matches will be like that, because those sort of teams play like that against each other. What I want to make sure is that we are doing the things we need to do to make sure that every time we come up against a low block, that we stay calm, that we find multiple ways of getting around them. And I think what's stopping us from doing that right now, yes, is quality. Like, I think we are some quality players away from being next level. But I also think that there are players at the club that will get better. And I don't just mean because they're young, but I think because they play with each other. And so much of our football, or Ange's style, is not about thinking, it's about instinct, isn't it? It's about that thinking fast. It's about not overthinking stuff, you know, receiving it, feeling it, giving it away, you're passing it without looking, because you know where your guys are season and beyond. You know, I don't think we're going to win the league next season, but I think we're still, even at the end of next season, we will still be in the process. We want to get to the point. We want to get to a point where a manager leaves and a manager comes in, and what they're doing is they're coming into a really well-run club that is set up to succeed. We've not had that, because we've had failed projects after desperate kind of like, we just want a win now at any cost sort of manager. Hasn't worked, didn't work. And let's be honest, let's remind ourselves that a lot of Spurs fans got on board with that. A lot of Spurs fans were on board with Conte, and quite a lot of Spurs fans were on board with Mourinho even, because they, you know, it was sort of like because
we wanted to win. That's why. We're so desperate.
I think what we learned from those things is I don't just want to win. If all I wanted to do was win, I'd pretend like I wasn't a Spurs fan. I'd go and support Man City. I want my team. I want to see my team transform itself into something that I can connect with and get behind. And if that takes 3 seasons, I'd rather it takes 3 seasons with Ange than I give up now, or I go and support another team that's already done it. Like,
building up. He's an Arsenal fan, and thank you for the super chat. It says, yes, we need you to show up against City. That's why we are here showing love to this channel. Keep showing the love. Keep showing the love, and keep getting them prayer beads out, Arsenal fans. Shake your bum for my club, because let's be real, whether you like it or not, we're gonna have something to say. And it's about, you need to motivate us You need to motivate us to turn up against City. Quick question though, and I'm going to throw it back to Chris, but it's for the whole panel. I've been saying that a lot of these Arsenal fans, Man U fans, everyone's trying to troll me, and I'm like, look, calm yourself down. Klopp is 9 years into the project. Pep, 10 years into the project. Arteta, 5 years into the project. I am giving Postecoglou 5 years. However, Lee Gunner said something to me last week. He said, if you win a trophy, you buy yourself an extra season, like 2 seasons to do something. So the question I'm going to throw to you all is, how long are we prepared to give Postecoglou? For me, I'm expecting, or at least I would like to see, minimum Carabao Cup top 4 finish next season for him to stay in his job. Then the following season, I would like to see FA Cup top 4 finish before season 4 and season 5, Tottenham mounting a genuine title challenge. Now, there is an argument which you're talking about, Arthur, which is there is something called progress, and I still take that. And Postecoglou is the one who articulated this. If you're showing progress, you don't really need to win a trophy, as long as we are happy that the foundations, the footballing style, the DNA that he wants to do is being laid. But if he's able to pick up trophies along the way, great. But if he does pick up a trophy, he's just making himself look better.
I give Ange, as long as he thinks he can take or develop us as a team and as a club.
Yeah.
Because he is the only one that has that barometer, that barometer to know up until when he can take it. Because sometimes success and progress is incalculable. You can't measure it. Sometimes, a victory, a win, doesn't show you as much as a loss, right? In football, because there are no absolutes, in my opinion, right? Because you could go out and thump someone 4-0 like Villa, right? But then you've got all the the creepy crawlies come out the wood. Yeah, but they played 3 days ago, and it wasn't, 4-0 is, this, that, yeah, you got all the questions about it, right? What if they were 100%? We wouldn't have beaten them, blah, 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 right? So you got all the semantics, all the intrinsic stuff about it, okay?
Yeah.
So I give him as much time as he needs, and I don't care if we lose. I don't care if we get thumped 10-0. I don't care, because I have put all my faith and trust in him, because I believe in him as a manager. I like the way he talks. I like the way he handles himself in public, and I like the way that his football idea, which hasn't been, idealized 5 weeks ago. That's how he has been brought up, seeing the game and implementing the game. Because when you become a manager, you have an idea of how you want to play.
How long does he get?
Middle of next season, I would say.
Huh?
Yeah. What? Because this is it. What I'm expecting is that, well, I'm hoping Levy opens up the coffers in this summer, and he gets 1 or 2 elite wingers that really fit the style of football. Someone who's a one-on-one dribbler, specialist, all of that. And then I expect a very good season, maybe not challenging for the Prem, but maybe around where we are now, 4th, 5th. But if we're struggling middle of next season, and he's had this elite winger, then he's got to go. He's got to go. But I'm expecting next season, not a Premiership challenge, hopefully top 4, but winning either the Europa or ECL, but either one of those, or Carabao or Carling Trophy. Like this season, I was like, okay, I was okay initially with top 8 or something, or just not be horrible. But now I need this guy to show that he's got something, like he's special.
Winning a trophy, depending on what it is, winning the League Cup in and of itself is enough for me to be like, yeah, for us. I already think he's the man for us. I know he's the man for us. I know we'll probably get onto this, or maybe you've already spoken about it. Like, genuinely, taking the kind of, the banter hat off, I've never felt less bothered about what them lot down the road are doing than right now, because I'm so excited about us. Obviously, I don't want Arsenal to win the league. I don't wish for them to win the league. But if they'd have won the league 3 years ago, I'd have been devastated, because it felt like we had a team that was just obsessed with what other teams were doing, was just obsessed with trying to win at any cost and failing to do so. So it was doubly embarrassing. Trying to do something which is pretty ugly in and of itself and then failing at it is pretty shit. So right now, what I have is a manager of my club who speaks brilliantly, has emotional intelligence, sticks to his guns, is very clear. I don't know whether the last time I remember having a more clear-cut manager that if you as a Spurs fan watch his press conferences, you actually learn something about what's going on in his brain, his approach, what's happening with the team. He manages to talk about all the players without throwing anyone under the bus. And if he doesn't win anything next season, so long as I have seen progress, and that is the manner in which, the style in which we play, it's the things that he's pointed out, right? Like I'm not going to wax lyrical about the Liverpool game. Like I was as pissed off about it as the next person, but the points he made afterwards were legit. He's made points of going, well, we continued playing. The players continued trying to play the way I wanted them to play. The fact that it wasn't working, you got lots of pundits saying, well, change it up. And he's saying, no. That's not when you change it up. That's when you don't. We want to get to the point where 9 times out of 10 playing like that wins us a game. For me, his longevity isn't actually attached to trophies. It's attached to continuing to see progress. I think we will get I think we'll get a trophy in the next couple of years, and I think it will be a significant one. I think we're going to get an FA Cup, a European trophy, or the Premier League in the next 3 years. I do.
Fantastic.
And I would take that. Like,
come on.
Do that, but I wouldn't put the time on it. I wouldn't say we've got to be going for the Premier League in 3 years' time, because there's so many other things. So many other things could be happening at play, right? Like we don't know what.
I agree, but I just don't know of our fan base. I mean, you've kind of made my next
different question, man. What do I want, or what do I think the fan base?
Yeah, because
I think the fan base will get on his back a lot sooner than I would, but I also think the fan base won't get on his back as quickly as they've done other people, because he has built a relationship.
He loses the three next games, which he won't. He would probably lose one. As he says in the press conference, are the questions going to get harder? Because whether he wins 3, loses 3, draws 2, whatever, his job is not going to be on the line. The fan base may get irate. It's not going to change absolutely anything.
It didn't have to be against City, but looks like we have to get something from them. But to lose all 3, like, I think 6 is okay. Losing against City is not terrible. But to lose all 3, Levy's going to be like, maybe this is not my guy. I'm going to have to let this guy go pretty soon. So he has to do very well.
But context is key. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but context is key, right? If you lose for the greater good, you lose everything. If you have to go and live in a tent for a week, you live in a tent for a week, right? As long as your house is being built, you go and live in a tent for a week. And you weather the cold, you weather the rain, you weather the snow and the hailstone. As long as your house is getting built, you weather that storm. And that is what 3 losses will mean, right? It's for the greater good. That is how I see it.
But as a businessman, right? Like, this guy's like losing games 7 in a row. And then he comes to me and is like, yeah, give me 80 mil so I can buy, I don't know.
Eze.
We say Eze, something like. I mean, those guys are good.
I don't think it changes anything. I think as a businessman, Daniel Levy can't afford to do anything other than back his manager. You can't be getting rid of Postecoglou after 1 season, even if he loses the next 3 games. It's going to cost. He's on a 4-year contract. It's going to cost him a whack of money. It's going to be another thing. He wouldn't be able to continue in his job. I think that would be the point. At the end of next season, if it all goes tits up, different thing. Season after, different thing. But right now, it would suggest to all the fans and to any potential future Tottenham manager that what is said is not what is actually done. He was brought in to bring us back to how we play as Spurs, and to bring us back into to have a connection with the fans, and to start playing football that we can all connect with, enjoy. If at the first hurdle, if at the first kind of sign of difficulty, he were to jump ship or throw Ange off the ship, I don't think he could survive that as a businessman. I'm not saying I don't know him. I don't know if he'd want to do that, but as a businessman, actually, I think he couldn't afford to do that. So if we're going from a business perspective, nothing changes in terms of that. I think what does change, and what maybe has been changing over the last few games, which we won't know about, is I think Ange is getting eyes on certain players. He's learning stuff about some players that he hasn't learned about yet. This is a difficult time because we don't have anything in theory major to play for apart from now securing Europa League qualification. But aside from that, we now have some players, and there are some players for me that, you know, I have question marks over, more question marks over now than I did early on in the season. And it's to do with their attitude and approach, not to do with their skill. And that's only been shown now because we're going through this patch where, you know, are these players showing up and continuing to try and play our football despite the fact it's difficult and despite the fact we don't have anything to play for?
What do you think could happen in the next? Could it be that Arsenal end up finishing second, Tottenham finishing fourth? And then my prediction that there's no difference between Spurs and Arsenal comes to play at the final furlong. So before we answer that question, the next 3 games, how many points are we going to get?
Yeah, I've resigned myself to finishing, or us to finishing 5th. So 6 points out of the next 3. City are probably gonna win the title, to be honest. I'm going with City winning. Arsenal, you know, they're going to lose it, but not because of us. I see them, and United are dreadful. So actually, I see Everton pulling up the upset there. So yeah, I'm going with 6 points. We beat Burnley and Sheffield. City losing like 2-1 or something like that, and then Arsenal fans getting excited, and then royally deflated, losing to Everton on the last day.
So you reckon Arsenal? I don't know if Arsenal will lose to Everton. That would be funny if they did. But you're saying 6 points. So basically, based on that prediction, we don't finish 4th. You can't see us taking Champions League.
No, that's remember, like I said, I started with top 8 would have been a great season. So I'm one of those that thinks the Europa League would be better for our development than going to the champs.
I think that minimum four, because either Burnley or Sheffield United aren't as clean cut as we might think. As you say, they're pretty dusty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with Zeus. It could be 6 points out of those 9. I'm not going to go with 9 because we're not by hook or by crook. We are not beating Man City, right? But Chris,
we say that every season, and somehow we do get a result against City. I'm just saying
City, and that's just in our own detriment. Okay, but we're not up there. We drew 3-3 at City, right? With Emerson Royale and Ben Davis at centre backs, for God's sake.
That's what I'm saying.
Is not going to be there, right, at centre back, and Ben Davis is injured. So the footballing gods don't work on Tuesdays. They do not. So it's not going to happen, right? They don't do overtime at midweek. So it's not going to happen, right? We might get a bit iffy against Burnley and Sheffield United, as I said. So minimum 4 points, could be 6. Are we going to go Champions League? I hope not. We don't need it. We're not there yet at level. We're not that level yet. So I'd rather not go to Champions League and get pumped by Apple Nicosia, for God's sake, away, right? And you know what I mean? I'd rather not do that. I don't want to go to AEK Larnaca and get pumped 4-0 and be laughing stock of everybody, okay? Because we're not there yet.
Tight offside when Eriksen gave the ball away in the 95th minute. Anyway, so I do. We could beat City. That does not mean that I am in any way suggesting we're anywhere near as good as City are as a club or as a team.
No, of course not. We're not saying that at all.
But I think I'm with most of you guys. I was with these guys as well, and with Zeus and Chris. I don't think we're not Champions League level.
Whether are we gonna roll over for City? It was a question that someone put in the chat earlier. I would love to see this is the point I'm making. I'm expecting Tottenham to lose to City. In theory, we should lose. But this team is stupid enough and crazy enough to put out their performance against City. That is the point, people. And I will be pissed if we do.
But also, Dej, that wouldn't necessarily mean we're stupid and crazy. It would mean we're playing a team who allows us to play the way we want to play, and it just happens on that day we're doing it really well. That's what happened.
For the last 4 bloody matches. But look, I'm going to go with you guys. You know what? I think Tottenham is crazy enough to get 9 points. I think we are.
Well, I've gone for 6.
I'm going with 9. I can see Tottenham getting the result against City.
If I were a City fan, I'd be more worried about playing away at Fulham than playing away.
I think City fans are more worried about us. They not look. It's not this thing about Tottenham and Man City is beyond football.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I'll go City to win the league. Villa.
So they win every game. So they beat us. They win every game basically from now to the end.
I think so. I think so. I think the biggest chance of Arsenal dropping points, which just sounds a bit weird after what we just said, and I still don't think will happen, would be like away at United. Like that would be the biggest. They are playing away, aren't they? United, or
yeah, they're going to Old Trafford.
Away at United, they might get a draw or whatever. But United fans, they might be getting small headedness like some Spurs fans, and but they don't want to do that. They don't want to beat Arsenal because that gives the title to City. So. There's all other things at play there. So I think that would be the highest chances of them dropping points is against them. I don't think they will. I don't think City will drop any points. I said it in my prediction. I think we'll get 6 points, Burnley and Sheffield United, and I think we'll get beat by City. I'm not saying that's what I want to happen, but I think that is what will happen. I think City will win the league. I think Villa will finish 4th. They have to finish 4th if City win the league because it means they've beaten us, so we can't catch them. I'm happy with that. I don't think Villa are going to come back and win the Conference League anyway. They're 4-2 down against Olympiacos. I think that's quite challenging. City win the league. We finish 5th. And that's about it.
There's City 1st, Arsenal 2nd, Pool 3rd, Villa 4th. We get 5th. The only thing that really changed from now until the end of the season is that Chelsea moves up to 6th place, which is not a big, which I don't really care about, to be honest. But this is it. Like, it's pretty much done. A bit of a not sad, but it's the season kind of ended when we lost to Newcastle 4-0 and whatnot. Like, that was it. Like, so it's just petering out. So sorry to say.
City to win the league, Arsenal 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, Villa 4th, Spurs 5th. I don't think. I mean, it is possible that Villa could come back. I mean, it's 2 goals. It's Olympiacos. It's not the worst thing to happen or the most difficult. It could happen. It's difficult.
Not logical, but I'm going to give you my wishful thinking. I would love to see. I mean, I wouldn't love to see. Let me be clear. I want City to smash Tottenham Hotspur. I want them to put 8 or 9 goals past us. But I see that this dusty club, and I'm talking about our club is likely to turn up against City and bloody get 3 points. So I can see Tottenham doing the unthinkable and sneaking in a Champions League spot. And I think Arsenal might lose to United. As dusty as Manchester United are, they might lose to United on Sunday, lose to United, Tottenham beat City, and then everyone says, but if had Arsenal beaten Man United, they would have won the league. That's the conversation that we would be hearing. But because they've lost to United, Tottenham beat City, Tottenham sneak Champions League football, Arsenal drop to 2nd, and we get to look back, laugh, look back on this clip and say, hey, Arsenal fans, after all that bluster, after all that shaking of bums, in the end, we both ended with no trophy and we're both in the Champions League. Mate, what a story that would have been after the justice we would have been through all week. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't need to. We expect, you heard the panel say, we should be beating Burnley. I expect that. I expect us to beat Sheffield United. But the City voodoo, the hoodoo that we have over this club makes me feel that this team could just do it because that's what we do. That's what we do.